up? What's up, guys? It's a very sick Michael McLean here to run through yet another filmmaking tutorial type thing here on the Slate. Alright, so if you've been around any film or seen any behind the scenes stuff from a film or a TV show, you've probably seen one of these. This is a film slate, also known as a clapperboard, and it performs two very key functions. The first part is this top part, which are the clapper sticks. The function of this is when you're recording dual system sound, such as on an external audio device with your DSLR or other film camera. The frame on the still in the video that lines up when these touch immediately will also line up with a large spike in the audio, which makes it a lot easier for your editor or sound recorders or whoever happens to be running the whole syncing up sound later in post. Makes their whole life a lot easier. The second bit below is the slate, which is just full of information for your editor. The second bit down the bottom is full of information for your editor. They can quickly scrub through the thousands of clips and easily and quickly find the shot. On a big film set, you'll also have someone who's documenting which takes the director wants to use, so that the editor can go through with their piece of paper that says which version and quickly find it all without having to watch each and every one to try and work out which one was the actor's best performance, which one had fluffed lines, and all that sort of stuff. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to go through what I carry in my slating kit. I have two pieces, the slate itself and this little bag. This slate is made by Stone, and it's just a very regular slate. It has black and white clappers on one side and coloured on the other. That's purely up to personal preference what version you get. It carries all the regular information and it's a nice good size for most size projects. However, I do actually also carry two more slates. These are made by Easy Slate and I love these. These are insert slates. So these are for when you're either not shooting sound or shooting on camera sound like I am currently. They're a lot smaller, and this one specifically is designed for an interview, and this one is pretty much the setup of the previous one. I also like these because they come with a focus chart on the back or somewhere for a lot of notes for your editor to see. I use the big one most of the time, but these can come in real handy. Now the Easy Slate comes in its own bag. The bag's very good. It's just a regular cotton bag with that's nice and rugged. Now in here I carry a few things. First thing I carry is a big lens cloth, which I actually use for cleaning the slates. Then I also carry, sometimes when you leave it on for a while it gets a bit tough to get off. That's why you carry these alcohol prep pads, which are designed for first aid kits, but they clean slates just as well. In this pocket over here, which is currently completely overstuffed, I carry a ton of various markers. As you can see, carry two big thick black whiteboard markers or dry erase, a smaller thinner one, a dual colour thin one which is really bad, a pink one and a Sharpie. Now between all of these, anything I need to write on or mark on these slates should be good. The last thing I carry for my slate is what's known as scribble strip. It's a lot similar to masking tape, which you can use just as well, but it's designed specifically for writing on. If you write on this with a Sharpie, it's not going to come off unless you peel the tape off. This is really useful when you're going into a longer production where you don't want your slate to get easily rubbed off. You can put your things that aren't going to change throughout the shoot, such as your director and the production name, and you don't want those to be able to get rubbed off. Now that we've gone through the basics of what I carry, we're going to go through this slate itself. Alright, so now we've gone and changed our setup so that you can actually see what I'm writing. Now, for what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use our roll of scribble strip, whiteboard markers, a Sharpie. So this is what you basically need to slate. First part we're going to fill out will be our production line. For this, we're just going to take a piece of scribble strip, however long your thing needs to be, and just simply stick it to the slate. It's as simple as that. So for this production, we're gonna call this the best film ever. So now that's not gonna come off. I can't rub it off. Well, I can smudge it because the Sharpie's not quite dry, but I can't rub it off when I chuck it in a bag and pull it out later that day. Now our director for this film is probably gonna be like, I don't know, Joe Bill. It's not that hard to fill out. Once again, our camera operator, another piece, because of course this slate is tied to the camera, so your camera operator likely isn't going to change. It's the same as your DP. This, Bill, Joe. Oh gosh, writing right-handed is really hard. Our camera once again, this is tied to the thing. Take our piece of scribble strip, which is too big, so we're just going to take it like that. Is our A cam, of course, and our frames per second is 24. Obviously, you could probably do this neater. Some people use coloured tape. Now, it's our first day of production, probably my birthday, so it is the 12th of the 7th, 2013. We will have our 3 groups here. Each has 2. This is our exterior shot in the day. Now what you won't do is you won't come through here and then cross out the one you're not using. And you definitely don't just cross out one, because now your director doesn't actually know whether the crossed out one is the one you're going with or whether you've crossed it out because it's the one you're not using. So you just circle. And then it's probably sync sound. Oh gosh, that was messy. Now, up the top, it's the beginning of the day. I've gone for a bigger Sharpie here. It's the beginning of the day, so we are going to roll A, scene 27A. Okay, so then when we change angles, this would become B, and so on. When we got to, say, shot of the scene Z, but written neater than that, we would then come back to A, like that. Now, there's 2 letters you don't use in the top section are I and O, for a fairly obvious reason now that you look at them. You don't want your editor to think that this is scene 2710. Okay? So you just skip I and O. H, once shot H is done, we go to J. Okay? So I and O get left out because they look too much like 1 and 0 or 10 or 0, 1. Our take, we're in shot. Our take, because we're just, a perfectionist of a director, Joe Bill is a really perfectionist, we're in take 47. Okay, so that basically is slating in a nutshell. The only other trick you need to really remember is that your shot needs to start rolling with this in the frame. So you don't want your camera to start rolling and then this goes in, because you hopefully want to have it so that when all your thumbnails are open on your computer, you just get lots and lots of these with different information so you can quickly go through and find everything. This has been Michael of Michael Makes Motion, and I hope that you've learnt something.